magic I wanted to talk to you guys about here, about just the magic of Christmas, because it is a thing. And I know that not everybody's Christian. In fact, not a lot of people are, nor would you consider yourself that, right? And so a lot of time, like just in general, just because it's like such a commercialized thing, which I totally understand. And we were talking about this today. And it's very easy for the commercial side of things to take away, to rob your magic from inside. And the thing that happens is when you can find the magic in spite of everything, that's where your manifesting power comes. It's always true about everything in life, because anything that takes your spark away will make you not in harmony, because we're meant to have the spark. We're meant to have the joy. We're meant to feel the love. We're meant to feel like, this feeling. That's natural. That's normal. That's expansive. Everything in the universe wants to expand. Our heart wants to expand. We want to open. But then there's this system and this crushing imposition of world bullshit that makes us go like this. It makes us go like, oh, depression. Oh, weight of the world. Oh, like this. But we want to go like this, right? So that's the thing about Christmas and the magic of Christmas. It's like, you see it in the eyes of the little children. They get so excited. And it's like, oh my gosh, in Santa. And some of you asked me about that, about Santa too, and how do you handle that and everything. So focus on the magic. Like, fuck what the world says. Like, the world's going to say what they're going to say. The world is going to say, put a mask on, Like, we have to say fuck that to a lot of things. Like, it's just the nature of what happens. So you have to make your own vibe. So to me, Christmas is amazing because it's, first of all, people are willing. The majority of people on the planet somehow get in a festive mood and they're actually willing to be nicer, which I will take anything that makes that happen, right? Like, we'll take it. We'll work with that. We'll take that vibe on earth. And then, generally speaking, yes, it may be more commercial, but people are giving. So there are things that people are willing to give. A lot of like charities, a lot of like Christmas things are happening. Like there's just, our hearts are turned to others. Whether it happens in a commercial way, there's a lot of good things that are happening on the planet. So let's recognize that, because that is good. And we want to power that up every time we have that in our ability. But also, there's like magical things in the stores all the time. There's all sorts of like my favorite words, like words that say believe and they say joy and they say faith. There's like, right. Elves and fairies and angels. Maybe not fairies. Maybe only I find the fairies. But
we found the unicorns too.
We found unicorns. We found snow globes with unicorns on them. But like, they're angels, straight up Christmas. And elves, straight up Christmas. Like, these are things that are not normally, there's a magic to it. And there's, wishes coming true. And so that's the vibe that we want to like hitch our train to, right? Mm-hmm. Or just kind of like feel into, because it expands and then you can create miracles with it on the inside. So do you have anything to say about Santa?
Ooh. Other than he looks like Father Time.
Other than he looks like Father Time.
I really like just the magic of believing in it, which is what we're really talking about. And that
because Kelsey she's not Christian.
Yeah.
She didn't grow up.
I grew up Christian.
Okay. Yeah.
And so it had this magic for me for a while as I was kind of, learning and growing up and, believing in Santa and doing all of that. But that had that magic to it. And I believe that it is held within this time space where people can step into it. And when we get kind of in the commercialized, like buying the presents, running around in the stress part of that, that's what kind of takes it away over the years. But really holding that energy and like walking, even if you are going shopping, just to see the things like Sonia was mentioning about believing and holding that energy within it, and like everything is sparkly and it's lights up, and driving around to see all the lights, like that is the magic right there. And so
cool things we get to do on Earth,
right,
like
exactly.
We're on Earth, we're having a human experience on Earth.
Exactly. And it's really beautiful that, like you mentioned, a lot of these mythical things show up, and then all of a sudden, because it's Christmas time, people believe in them. And that is amazing. So let's ride that so that we can just believe them all the time. like, yes, there is the magic flowing around us that we can't see. And that feeling of love and joy that really radiates through when people just want to get together and be homey and cook warm food and get cozy with their loved ones. Like, that is so beautiful to me. And it really took some reorganizing around Christmas and holidays, and just, again, what commercialized energy has put into it, as it had to be this certain thing. And really, it can be the base joy within us and that love essence that comes through. That's the magic.
Yes. Why is it only at Christmas? I've always said that. Why does it have to leave December 26th? Which is so true. I have been known to hold my Christmas tree up until Valentine's Day. I don't know if you know this yet.
That's awesome.
I changed the ornaments on it because I like the magic of the lights. But I am with you. And, in other countries, like in Italy where I grew up, the magic goes until the 6th of January, which is the day that the three wise men, which were we call them in English, the words are the three wise men, but in Italian and in other languages, the words are actually the three magic astrologers. So let's get with that, okay? The three magical kings, which were astrologers that knew to follow a star that was a comet, okay? So because they knew how to read the stars, and the comet was going to fall and light the path. And so they follow this star, which is this magical star that takes them right to the birth of a child that came straight from the stars. I mean, that's a pretty fucking cool story. You know what I mean? I can get behind that story. I'm with that. And so we celebrate it until that day. Right? And so there's this kid whose name was Jesus that was born, and he held higher dimensional frequencies inside of his body in a very dense environment. So I have a lot of respect for that, because if you think about the way that we feel knowing the things that we know, which is tiny bit, right? Into an environment that's still fairly organized in terms of it's not the Middle Ages. It's not an eye for an eye. People don't get crucified in the streets. People don't, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So if you think about holding a vibe of unity and love consciousness and all knowing, and, and then there's the Roman Empire, that's hard. When you're getting kicked out of temples because more as a young kid, more than the priests in the temple, that's a rough life. Knowing more than the adults around you, I'm just saying. So there's things, and there's a lot of respect there. And there were a lot of things that changed, because of that. There are many books obviously written about Christ, and the consciousness of Christ is available on the planet. That's the reason why people call it Christ consciousness, because he was able to bring in, right? And then he died at 33, which is the mastery number, which has remained that marked forever, the mastery number, because he attained mastership. So he willingly walked out of the body and then came back and took it on, and people saw him get back in his body. That's a big deal. That's the shit we're gonna do. You know what I mean? That's a big deal. We can learn. So that's the job, and I just think it got really weird, and it got really messed up with religion, and it started in Rome with the Catholic Church, obviously, and churches that made it this heavy burden, whatever not. But when you really think about the magic of it, it's really magic, right? And so when you believe that, yes, you're going to believe in miracles, because that's where it starts. It starts with a kid that came from the stars because his mom was a virgin, and an angel said, hey, you're going to have a baby. Can we get with the story, please? I need to tell the story of Christmas. I need to tell the story of Christmas.
This is great.
I know. Once upon a time, there was a girl. Her name was Mary. She had a good heart. One day, an angel said, hey, you got a special job. You're going to have a baby, and you're not going to have, which, by the way, there are accounts of children, of women that got pregnant without having sex. That has it's reported a couple of people that have made, it was that guy that wrote the book The Flower of Life, which I've never read, but I know his name, Drunvalo Melchizedek. His wife got pregnant without them having sex. And so it was a really wild story. But anyways, so like children that come straight from like, that's not, it's
divine.
not, yeah, it's not just human. So anyways, it's not like a, it's happened. Hold vibes. Oh my gosh, Kelsey's
It's happening so
manifesting.
fast.
Whoa, let's not fall. Manifesting, because we're talking about the magic. Yes.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yay. We're manifesting big
right
things.
now.
Right now.
Right now. Thank you for witnessing me. Thank you for seeing me. I love all of you. It's all happening. Doing it together.
You guys are feeling it. Yes, it's gonna burn for another little bit.
I know, but it's practically there. I'm really excited.
She's getting she's getting her manifestation. She's getting her wishes. Yes, I like it.
It's pretty.
Yes.
And there's a bug.
And there's bugs. She's manifesting with the bug beings. Bug beings are represented.
They're helping.
Hive mind. Collective.
I'll take it.
Amazing. Feel it. Okay, so I'm telling a magical story in the meantime. So if you think about it, so it goes with the vibes. So if you think about it, right, there's an angel that goes to a woman, and can you imagine that as a woman? Like really? Like an angel that comes and is like, so you're going to have a child that's not going to be an earthling at all. Like this child is going to know things that nobody else on earth knows. And you're like, shit, And so it's kind of a thing. So he comes to earth and he has to hold this frequency. He made it available for people. That's the stuff that we tap into. He had to like recreate the structure. Nobody knew how to hold the vibe back then. Nobody knew. So he had to start it. That was a big job. So yeah, not so all souls are created equal. Like not all souls are born equal. A lot of souls started at the beginning of time together, but a lot of souls are older souls, right? Like a lot of souls know more than others. So anyway, so he comes in with this job and there's this whole journey and there's like, clearly something's going on because there's an emperor that wants to kill this kid before he's even born. So the mom is like, shit, I got an angel child. Like we gotta go. Thank God my husband, John, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, the carpenter.
John. Yeah, the carpenter actually believes this because he didn't see the angel, but he's got my back. So we got to like cross the land and they're taking census and shit. We got to hide, right? Like, so they go through like all this thing. They can't find a hospital to birth this child in. They have to have it in a manger. Like this whole story, right? And all the while there's a star and people have predicted this. The astrologers have predicted this. That's why there's a king back in the days that believes into astrology because they knew this at the time. That's like, I got to kill this kid, right? Because like, otherwise this kid is going to actually take over the ruling. So this was like this whole controversy. In the meantime, 3 astrologers that were wise men, obviously, because they knew astrology, make this journey across the lands on top of camels to bring like gold, myrrh, and frankincense to this little kid because they knew. And remember, there's no phone, there's no telegraph, there's no letters. They know because of the stars and they find the kid because they followed a star. Like, that's cool. Like, that's cool. When we're like, oh my God, I feel like I have to go this.
By Sonia G.
Yeah. Like, that's fucking cool. Like, they followed the star and they found a magical child. I know. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's the thing, right? So, like, there's a lot of magic in here. And so, yes, it makes you believe in miracles. The point is it makes you believe in miracles, which is why it's the believe, which is why the light and the star that we put on top of our trees, right? Technically, it's the comet. It's the star that is the guiding star that brings light to the people in the world. So it's all about the stars and like all the stuff that we're into. So I feel like the energy of it and the origin of it, which is what gets lost so much in the world, is like so on point. So that's why I love it. And I say don't let anybody take that away because there's just so much of that. Like it's the time where it comes to life where there's this magical world. How did it get to the point of Santa bringing gifts? Like, I'm not entirely sure. There's so many different stories, right? There's so many versions of it, but it's the joy of like the birth of something new and something magical on earth, right? That wasn't possible. So basically we're celebrating the impossible and we're celebrating the birth of something new. And because there were gifts like gold and myrrh and frankincense, which were the most precious gifts of the time, the tradition has become that there's gifts, right? That are given. And so Also, by Italian tradition, I'll tell you guys this. The story goes that there was a witch that was looking for Jesus. So on the 6th of January, so there's witches involved in
I
Italian.
didn't hear the story. I'm ready.
Okay, we're ready. We're ready for this part of the story. So there's a witch. So on the 6th of January, we celebrate the Witches' Day, which, by the way, is the reason why our retreat, our digital retreat, is on January 6th, because it's the Witches' Day. That's when we're doing our digital integration. So in Italy, it's the Witches' Day, which is the day that this witch flew on her broomstick looking for Jesus, and she couldn't find him. She was late to the party because she couldn't follow along the wise king, whatever. They left her behind, basically, long story short. Okay? So the girl's on her broomstick, and she's bringing all these goodies and all this magical stuff and all this fruit and candied fruit. She brought all of these treasures of foods, okay? She wanted to bring these to Jesus, to this magical child. And anyways, in the process, she wasn't sure. And so she started sharing. She was like, well, I may not, because the star, I don't know if the star stopped shining or she got lost along the way. So basically, the story is she decided that she would give every child a part of this gift in honor of this birth, okay? And so that's how that happened. So she didn't make it to Jesus, but she shared with the entire world along the way her gifts, flying on her broomstick.
That's so cool.
And because she was flying on the broomsticks and they went down from the windows, from the chimneys, blah, 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 that's why Santa comes.
Oh my gosh. Can we please have a witch on a broomstick with her sack of presents?
We have that in Italy.
I want that.
You need to come. You guys need to come. You guys know it's called the Befana. Okay.
The Befana?
Yeah.
Wait.
So
that'll be me. I'll dress up.
yes, we have. I know. So my actual girlfriend, if you ask Rochelle, she calls me the Christmas witch. I'm I will take that with honor.
So cute.
But the name is the Befana. So if you go all over Italy, there are all of these statues and things, not statues, but things around Christmas. There's Santa, and then there's the Befana, which is the Christmas witch. And she's got this bigger nose, and she's got the broom, and she's got a bag of all of her things.
I can see it.
So long story short, that's what we give the kids, the presents to everybody. That's kind of how, in celebration of this magical thing.
I love it.
So there's so much cool stuff behind that, right? So then all of a sudden, how are you going to give it to all the kids? Well, let's get some elves because they're magical. I feel like the elves should be a part of the story. So that's kind of how that went. But the North Pole is off limits because there's so much magic up there, right? That's where so much magic has happened throughout the history of the planet. And so, the poles and the alignment of the planet. So there's just a whole lot more to it that I don't even think we comprehend that is embedded in the mythology, and the stories and the magical things. So keep it alive for the kids, I always strongly believed in that. With Ari, oh man, one of the hardest things as a parent is that you want, and I'm just being honest with y'all, you want your kids to know that you worked your ass off to buy that thing. And they just think that Santa's going to bring it. Yeah. It's okay, Mom and Dad. You don't have to spend money. I'm going to write Santa for it. And you're like, damn it. And then you want Santa to be the good guy, right? Oh, my God. So that was one of the questions that came in today about that, how, I feel like I'm lying to my kids. And the thing is, you're not necessarily lying to your kids. I think everything that helps children believe in magic and keep that alive on the inside is always worth it, and so make it work for you to where, I remember we had set some things with Santa would just bring one big present in my house or whatever. And then everything else was the parents, right? So that the kids would know or whatever. But so make it work however you're going to make it work. But for us, there were elves and there were fairies and, we just did fairy dust all over the house. It was just a time of magic. And then the children feel that and they just connect and it's this opening, right? It's this world where they can see it all the time, but they're just not allowed to talk about it. But all of a sudden around Christmas time, they see it and they feel it, right? And they can talk about it openly because the adults are open to it. So it's a pretty cool thing. So I'm just saying, yes. There are some weird things out there, but Um, there's there's a world that you can tap into with your heart that's very amazing and magical. When you tap into fear with your heart, you will tap into some very dark things. So there's both, right? And so you just have to learn how to navigate through the things. But that's how it goes. Oh my gosh, my manifesting is catching up to Kelsey's.
Yeah.
We're manifesting at
It
the
is
same time.
happening. Oh my gosh.
Oh, candle manifesting is the best. So holding the vibe, the magic and the feeling of like being in love with life will always get you to manifest. Always, always, always. So make the season work for you. You don't have to do it like everybody else does it, right?
No, definitely make up whatever it is for you that is reality. How does it feel for you? And you can, that's the thing, is it doesn't have to be anybody else's construct. Like, where does your magic lie? How beautiful does that feel? And what gets you into your heart space to share that love with yourself, with your family, all of your loved ones? Because that's really the magic in this season. You know, it doesn't have to be religious. It doesn't have to be commercial. It doesn't have to be any of that.
This is funny.
Just joyous.
My daughter believed in Santa, and a kid at school told her that Santa doesn't exist. She came home and told me, I feel scammed. That's awesome. I'm sorry. That's funny, though. I feel scammed, Mom. Why would you tell me that? So the way... I mean, at some point, right, that always happens, like in school. I think in I don't know, with Ari, we had, she was told by kids in school, but she was like, no, I still believe. And I was like, this house believes. Like, we all believed. It doesn't matter. And so, you know, you can tell, you're like, however it comes around. But the point is, I know, in fact, I worked with this girl. Her name is Maggie, and she had teenagers, and it was the coolest thing because she's like, we never gave Santa up. She's like, we still have a Santa presents for our teenagers. They know, but it's tradition, and it became like part of the magic of Christmas that they would just say, this is from Santa. Meaning like these are things that happen miraculously. And the whole thing behind it is that, you know, we manifest greater than we ever probably could because of our children, because we want to give our children something amazing. And so there's manifesting involved. And a lot of times it requires believing of manifesting of the money and getting those toys or whatever the hell it is, or the experience for the kids at Christmas time. So there's a lot of magic and manifesting involved. And so it's fun to keep Santa alive, meaning like, you know, it's part of the magic and manifesting that something impossible could actually happen. So that's the whole thing, right? So
my mom still does it, like with us, and I have younger siblings, and so
Yeah.
like I've gotten to like
You
help
got Santa
play
presents?
Santa,
Yeah.
and I still get Santa presents. So
Oh.
like that's magical. She really
really
loves
cool.
it, and it's a cool bonding experience for us now to like go up and wrap presents at midnight when the kids finally go to bed. Yeah,
Star is saying, obviously Christmas witch. That's how I make it work for me. Amazing. I love it. My dad's always signed a gift from Santa to me. I'm now 40. I love,
that's so
see,
sweet.
these are really cool things. I love that we're sharing this stuff. So there's a lot of magic. So don't let the world just, you know, make it weird for you. Like, not make it weird, but like, don't make it take away the spark.
Right.
Don't make it about the things, because it's not about the things. And it's so much of it for me is like, ooh, like getting little things, or like, you know, baking together or whatever. It's a cool experience. It's a time where, you know, for whatever reason, it's okay to come together. You know, it's okay all the time, but the majority of the world feels it, which means that the more it is felt, right? You know how you watch like those
Yes.
Christmas movies and you're like, you have to believe, and everybody believes, and the Christmas spirit is up, and like, you know, the slave
That's how we
vibe or whatever.
manifest. Yes,
That's the
'cause
thing.
We all hold the vibe together.
So the whole world is holding a vibe. The whole world is like shifting. And that's like right around the solstice, and we got new earth to manifest. So like spread the Christmas cheer. If you can we dress up like elves and do this? Like if you
yes.
don't do it in another way, right? If people don't actually like, you know, listen to like the other stuff of the things that you're talking about, just, you know, bring them back to this stuff. Bring them back to these things. Some people may not listen to you telling them about, you know, this is fake, this isn't real, take off your mask, or like whatever, like, you know, this is where the world is going. But maybe, just maybe, you can spark a little love in their heart with like Christmas stuff. So it's whatever, you know, whatever works. So yes, keeping tradition alive. Good traditions. This is stuff that comes from like, you know, 2,000 years ago. It's kind of a big deal.
Right.
Like on
And
a
if you follow
planet.
Yule and the solstice back, it goes back even farther. So, just holding the magic of
Yeah.
the earth. And that's really where it came from anyway. It's respecting the seasons. And as we transition and bring the sunlight back and honor how the world, shifts through her beautiful magic as well. So that all holds magic. And it can be whatever that is to you. And it clearly is very felt at this time of the year, no matter what you call it, which is beautiful.
Down Yule paganism tradition, the tree, and then Saint Nicholas bringing presents. Yeah, and then Coca-Cola invented Santa. I know. That's why there's so much damn stuff with Coca-Cola. And like in Italy, like I actually collected. I have some like collectible stuff, which is so weird because we know Coca-Cola is like horrible, but they came out with some pretty cool visuals, right, for it as like a thing. But it's just interesting. But the point is, however, it's, and then every culture has its way, right? Like, I have a Christmas witch. I love my Christmas witch. I'm down with it. Like, tradition from Italy.
more Yule. So,
Yeah.
and it's just beautiful.
And there's like people, yeah, like Latin America, South America, they have the three kings, right? And like, which are again the astrologers. So like, there's just cool shit. Whichever way you look at it, like just bring out the magic. I love you guys. Thanks for sharing our moment with us. We're gonna go hold the vibe for like the last of our candle manifesting. We love you all so much.
So much.
We wanted to just share some magic and some love and some vibes, and then we'll see you for the Monday Night Live tomorrow night.
Yay!
Yay! And
Love you.
we'll be more serious. No,
When?
never. Love you guys. Mwah.
Bye.
Happy new moon. Go manifest. Bye. Love.